In 2014, I decided to sponsor legislation dealing with nuisance property that basically went after absentee landlords, as we call them. And basically, you had a lot of vacant and abandoned buildings that was owned by individuals that they were not keeping their properties up. And it's really a cancer for crime. And I believe that the only chemotherapy was to be able to file legislation that go after absentee landlords.
We have a similar problem in Kansas City, with vacant and dilapidated properties that are not kept, that are nuisance properties. I believe in Kansas City proper, we have over 16,000 vacant and dilapidated properties, and nearly 65% of them are owned by out-of-town banks, other lending institutions, out-of-town property owners. And so we have a real challenge in Kansas City as well for nuisance properties. It's very difficult many times for neighboring organizations to be able to get an injunction to have the courts tell the property owners to clean up those dilapidated properties without showing actual financial monetary damages in the process. So this legislation allows those organizations and those neighbors to be able to go to the courts to demand that those folks clean up their properties without showing damages. They weren't seeking monetary damages, they're just wanting the folks to clean up their property.
This year, we were able to put in attorney fees.
We were.
And that was a big step for the legislation that we've been pushing since 2014.
And there's another provision that Senator Nasheed had allowed to go on there, and it's something we've been trying to get done for several years. It's the Good Neighbor Bill. It gave the opportunity for those folks to be able to at least cut grass. We have those in Kansas City, and I'm sure here in St. Louis in the spring and summer that have waist-high weeds. And the folks are just wanting to clean up the properties or pick up trash. And so they can now do that, of course, without threat of liability.
Just a few months ago, the legislation was actually used in the courts, okay? And it was victorious because there was a nuisance property and individuals had a problem with it. They took it to court, and guess what? The court ruled in favor of those individuals that were suing the nuisance property under the legislation that we filed in 2014. So it's working. We now, more than ever before, we just have to get it out, letting people know that this tool is here available for you to use to protect your neighborhood, to make sure that your property value is not going down.
Right.
Because
that's a huge thing.
Because again, it's not just about people's property value. It's about being able to live in a neighborhood that's safe,
right,
where individuals can work, live, and play.